Hey everybody, Sonic17 here. Welcome to the new Ecologue Talks, as I will be your sole host going forward. What can I say? Life gets in the way. I'm sorry that it's been 3 years since I last made a video. What better way to return than to talk about something niche again? Today I'm going to be talking about a manga, and we're just going to start with the synopsis via Mal. Mei Sengoku is the captain of the kendo club at her school, and is known as a very strong person, physically and mentally. Her friend, Shiro Fuji, is a boy who acts like a girl, but says that he loves her. Mei is focused only on becoming stronger, but she is beginning to question what is most important after all. It sounds generic, right? And it starts off with cliches galore. Yet somehow or another, Mizutama Honey Boy, written by Junko Ike, burrowed its way into my heart with a charm that's a little hard to describe, but I'll try my best. This manga started in 2014 and finished in 2018, so I'm kinda late to the party making this video. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect by any stretch of imagination. Shiro Fuji is a girly guy, and femininity for men is associated with being gay, which he's not. But they really like to lean into the ew, he's being gay towards me gag when it comes to him resolving conflicts with strangers, and it's really not that funny. I mean, Shiro plays into it like it's no skin off his back, but it seems borderline offensive if you want to go that route. I won't be doing so today, but I felt like it needed to be mentioned. It's the same deal with Shiro's dad being crestfallen about his girliness and potential homosexuality. I don't like what it implies. Past this, there's another character in the story by the name of Hijiri Himeno that I find quite grating, mainly because she offers little reprieve for her poor treatment of Shiro. Yeah, not every character has to be likable, I know, but she annoys me and I've always disliked these mean-spirited characters. The series might not be perfect, but there's real heart in the characters inside the story that captivated me and honestly made me feel like that this manga should be more popular than what it is. There's going to be spoilers. I don't think this series necessarily needs to be read blind to be enjoyed, but I'm going to say that now for those who care. First, let's talk about Manabu Nanao. His introduction is rather suspect. Oh great, another one of those annoying rival characters. And then he goes on to challenge Mei to a battle with the condition that if he wins, they have to date. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But first impressions aren't everything though, and he quickly demonstrates that he's a great guy, and his relationship with Shiro, much to my surprise, is actually amazing. Like, it's hilariously funny, and it has no right being as good as it is. I think that its strength comes from how earnestly he's willing to say that he's his boyfriend, despite it obviously being a joke to everyone that makes it funny. It doesn't feel like the humor is derived from the disgust at being gay, so much as it is about Shiro's disdain for this so-called relationship he's in while he's trying to pursue Mei. Not to mention afterwards, when Mei realizes her feelings for Shiro, and Manabu's like, I'm not handing him over to just anybody. And that sounds like it'd be annoying, and yet it's hilarious. I love it. I don't know why. Maybe I'm simple, but it's that earnest energy, I guess. His chaotic nature never ceases to be funny to me, but he also gets a little bit more past that as well. He's perceptive enough to see the changes in Mei, and he acts as the catalyst to both resolve his own heart and push her forward into understanding her true feelings. That same perception gets demonstrated when he's with Hijiri and also when he's dealing with his siblings, namely Sarah. The simple-minded fool isn't as big of a fool as he seems, and I think his characterization is simply on point. So that's one first impression. Here's another one. This series kind of has a few landmines, so to speak, where I think grace is needed or else the story could degrade into nonsense real quick. Nadeshiko Saigo is a kendo rival of Mei's, and you can see that she's blandly a very masculine and larger girl. Honestly, I think that in most series, she'd simply be only a gag character who isn't regarded with any seriousness and is always the butt of the jokes. But Junko Ike begs to differ. Listen, we already know who Shiro likes, which makes the answer inevitable. Yet it's how the answer is delivered that is so important. And that answer is delivered beautifully. Her feelings aren't played for as a joke, there's no pity or anything of the sort. Shiro's rejection is done with a level of heart that both respects Nadeshiko's feelings and demonstrates why he's such a great guy, worthy of receiving that kind of love. While her character arc wraps up super quickly, it's a nice message about living true to yourself, and I think that fits the themes present in the story. That message, of course, isn't undermined by lowbrow humor or any kind of low-quality writing that disrespects her. Now, for the sake of keeping it positive, let's not talk about Nadeshiko's brother. Continuing on, it's Shiro Fuji's segment now. My boy Shiro is one of the gems of the story, and he does it all despite being a relatively stagnant character. The story is more about the growth of Mei's character than it is about Shiro, and the good thing is, his character is pretty good from the start. He's direct with his intentions, but not too pushy. A fine line to toe when it comes to these kinds of stories where the main love interest has already rejected them. It does help that Mei sort of holds the power dynamic between the two on the account that she could kick his ass, and also the fact that Mei is receptive towards Shiro's overall presence. Nothing's really forced, and while she'll play into it, I don't think she's ever really that uncomfortable with his antics. Seriously, he is so good from the start. Shiro doesn't change mainly because he doesn't need to. His cross-dressing and overall feminine demeanor isn't something he considers a bad thing, and that's good. He knows what he likes, and it's never in any actual doubt. Sure, it gets played for laughs by others, and sometimes he laments his lack of masculinity, but the fact is, Shiro is Shiro. That high level of confidence that he possesses is refreshing and makes him super easy to cheer for. Again, things like his dad being in shambles because, and I quote, his son is a daughter now, obviously implies that him being girly is a bad thing, and something to be ashamed of. Yet, not once does Shiro think that there's something wrong with him. And he's goddamn right. I just love how comfortable he is in his identity, and I'm sure many people long for that same level of comfort in their day-to-day lives. Frankly, if our society learned a thing or two from him, we'd all be in much better shape. Beyond his rock-solid identity, he's just a really kind and likable guy whose love for Mei is genuine. It's super easy to root for him, because by and large, there's almost never any real maliciousness behind his actions. Shiro helps whenever he can, by damn near any means necessary, without a hint of entitlement. This is more noticeable when he's helping others, and not Mei. He just can't help himself when it comes to teasing you. I don't blame him. Of course, we can't do all this talking and not mention the star of the show, unless you consider Shiro the star. We're talking about Mei Sengoku now, though. Your usual princess of school who's actually a girl. I adore her because she is absolutely hilarious. Mei parallels Shiro in the sense that while she does express some disdain for what she lacks, femininity in her case, she's more than happy with the identity she possesses. That strength and coolness is admirable and no doubt adds to her appeal, but for me, it's the way she responds to things that happen to her that steals the show. I know it gets a little telegraphed as you continue on, but what can I say? I'm a simple guy. She's strength personified in both her studies and physically, but elsewhere, not so much. For example, she's dense as hell. That's kind of the point, of course, as it's her development that's the main focus of the series. She's never had a reason to think about love, so the feelings surrounding it are foreign to her. When you think about it, it makes perfect sense why she's so fascinated with Shiro. She prides herself on being well-rounded with how strong and smart she is, so when she sees the different type of strength that Shiro demonstrates while being traditionally weak by all accounts, of course she'd want to learn more. This then shifts to her realizing she wants to learn more about Shiro specifically. Although I must admit, the entire Fuji family is truly a force to be reckoned with. The dynamic between the two is so sweet and enjoyable that the fact that they don't get together right away doesn't detract from the story. The will they, won't they bit isn't really dramatic. It's a little dragged out, a little bit. I won't say that it's perfect pacing, but I never felt that the outcome was ever in doubt. And that's important. You get a lot of sweet and funny moments without much of the needless drama, which is perfect. I think it bears repeating that the characters 100% make this story. Shiro is easily a top-notch character, not only in the story, but in general. I gushed a lot about him, but I did end up choosing Mei as my favorite because I am basic. My first reread sparked the inspiration for this video, and this script is honestly 3 years old. But my rating never changed. I did just finish another reread of it, and, well, came to the same conclusion. I gave Mizutama Honey Boy an 8 out of 10. there's a real charm in it that can just snatch you up like it did to me. I did hem and haw with this number initially because of some of the issues that I discussed and its seemingly generic plot, but like I just said, the reread solidified it. Understandably, ratings are very subjective. If you're not sure about it, feel free to check out my Mal page at SilentNichols17, look at the manga I've completed and scored. If you find yourself in agreement with a lot of my choices, our tastes probably align and you should check out this gem. One last personal note here is that I want to apologize again for the long hiatus. I do have fun making stuff and yapping my head off, so I'm going to try my best and make time for this going forward. Thank you all so much for watching. I didn't think I'd make a video on this series initially, but I truly believe it should have more than 4,000-ish users that have it in their Mal, and if I can add just one more pair of eyes on it, then I'm happy as heck. That's all from me. Until next time, take care.